Welcome to nightlenses.com chat, where we talk to night lens users to give others who are considering them a few ideas. So today we're joined by a brilliant family. I think you're going to enjoy this one. So here we have Marc and Steven. So Marc and Steven have actually been wearing night lenses since they were 5 and 7 years old. For a lot of people out there who are thinking, wow, that's young. Okay, well, it is young. And we've got mum and dad who are going to sort of take us through that. So I think this is going to be really interesting for people out there. So we're going to start off with Marc and Steven. Look, really interested. We'll jump to actually more about how night lenses have been for you over the time. So you're both into sports. So Steven, what sort of sports are you into, and how have they helped you? Have they been useful to you?
Well, I play football quite a lot of maybe about three times a week, and sort of not having to wear glasses, like wearing the lenses, has sort of changed my life in a way that I can play football without having to worry about smashing glasses or buying like sports glasses.
And Marc, you're into all sorts of things. I say Taekwondo and skiing and snowboarding. So you're really active, right? I mean, Taekwondo is interesting. So, you know, do you find particularly for martial arts that it's been quite useful? Is it useful actually just generally around the sports you do, or specifically for the sports you do?
I would probably say more generally, because I mean, if I'm talking about Taekwondo, you know, you'd worry about contact when sparring, you'd be hitting other people, and you kind of worry about, you know, your contact lenses, how that would affect your eyes, you know, getting dust into them and things like that. So wearing the nocturnal contact lenses, it means that I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, so, I mean, could you imagine doing, say, Taekwondo with daytime lenses or glasses now?
No, I think I would find that really challenging. Really challenging. Just I don't think I'd be able to sort of see my opponents, because I'd probably have to take my glasses off, or if it was contacts, just worry about getting dust in them. So I think I would find that a lot more difficult.
Absolutely. In fact, we've been interviewing a couple of sports folk here. So we've got Katrina, who's a world champion duathlete, and we've got Ewan, who's downhill mountain bike. And they say, you know, at the top level sport, even in really good sport, the most difficult thing is if you've got nothing in your eye, you don't have to think about it, right? So you can actually just perform. That's the sort of thing that you're sort of getting at there, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. And look, you guys were really, really young. So, you know, Marc, you were dead young. Do you really remember the early days of putting these things in your eyes at night, or?
Not really. It's just kind of been part of my tradition, just every night from when I was so young. So I can't really remember a lot of it. But I think I was at the age that it just, it didn't really affect me too much. I was just kind of up for trying something new, and it's just took off from there. It's really changed my life.
Actually, I think I got it, because actually you were 7, weren't you? So Steven, you were 5, right? Is that right? Yeah. Do you remember at all?
No, I don't really remember anything about putting the lenses in. They're always telling me the stories that I was screaming at the start, but I don't remember anything.
Well, that's good. And mum and dad, you know, for a lot of people, they'd be terrified of the thought of putting lenses in a child at 5 years old, or, you know, even at 7. You know, I mean, honestly, how was it because I know there's 2 experiences here, as I gather, with the 2. So if you're talking about Steven, age 5, I mean, how was that?
It was difficult to start with. Quite traumatic for Steven, although he doesn't remember it, and for John and I trying to put the lenses in. It was very difficult. We actually took a wee step back, and the optician was very good and gave us techniques on how to put them in. And to be honest, within a couple of weeks, I was able to put Steven's lenses in at night and take them out in the morning, and it quickly just became a routine. When he got a wee bit older, Scott showed him how to do it for himself, and just haven't looked back. I mean,
Marc was older at 7. Was that slightly different for Marc?
Yes, I would say that Marc was able to do it more or less straight away. Just with the right guidance and support, he was able to do it.
Fantastic. So overall, looking back, I mean, obviously the time you say is quite traumatic with a 5-year-old, but looking back now, did it go quite, I mean, was it purely about technique and then it became part of the routine? And
yes, I think so. Yes. the main reason that we had wanted the boys to try the nocturnal lenses was we didn't want them to, well, John and I both have contact lenses, and we knew what it was like trying to do sports and things, and just if you're out in the rain, you come in, the glasses steam up. So we wanted, if possible, for the boys not to have to wear glasses. And really, I think John will probably agree that the main focus was to get them through their childhood.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, Dad sitting at the back there, what do you think, reflecting on your boys growing up, what difference do you think you've given to them in their lives with night lenses?
I do think it's been transformational. You mentioned the fear of putting the lens in a young child's eye, but we also had the fear, me especially from my experience of wearing glasses as a young boy, from the age of 4, and the rough and tumble and the ever-present threat of the lenses shattering, and the fear, just knowing how impacted I was personally, and that was a huge factor in wanting to make the boys in childhood as free from the concern of both glasses and also just the daytime lenses as well, having gone through that experience as well. And
that's an interesting point. Talk to your boys again. I think, you're in a situation where you've never really known glasses or daytime lenses, right? So this is what you know. So can you imagine life with having to wear glasses? So in the morning you get up and you put these things on. And I guess the question would also be, would you ever go back into glasses or daytime lenses?
No, not unless I absolutely had to, really, because I can remember, I think it was a short time that I wore glasses and I really didn't like it. I kind of felt self-conscious because I was in primary school at the time. I think it was first year of primary school, and it was quite difficult because going from wearing nothing in your eyes to what I'm doing just now, and suddenly having to wear something that would make you stand out from all the other people in your group, I found that quite difficult. So I probably wouldn't go back unless I absolutely had to.
It's quite interesting because so my son's 16 who wears night lenses, and I chatted to a girl called Annabelle who's now 18, and she's worn them all her teens, and they both sort of say it's a bit weird to think that you would actually put a lens in the morning and then go out and do things. You have to take it out for swimming or surfing at the beach and get things. It's a really weird concept. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm. It's a very, very odd thing. And so Mum and Dad, just a final thing, any tips? Do you have any sort of tips to parents who are going to think about putting them on children so young as you have?
I think not to be afraid of the unknown. I think also we got reassurance that far from it being detrimental, there was every chance from the information given to us by the optician that early indications were that wearing the nocturnal lenses could actually slow the deterioration in the eyesight. So the progression of short-sightedness could be delayed. That was the initial evidence. So again, that was a further reason, aside from the sporting activity, and also just the fact that from my own experience, I hate looking back at photos when I was a boy wearing glasses, and so that they don't have that, thankfully.
Absolutely. Well, so I wore glasses and I had big hair, and I'm a small fella, so I look like Ronnie Corbett. So yeah, so that was me looking back at my life. Look, this has been really, really useful. Thank you so much. I'm guessing I'm going to ask the question. I'll ask it anyway. Would you recommend night lenses to people who are considering boys there?
Yeah, I would, absolutely.
And Mum and Dad, any parents thinking about it, and particularly you referenced myopia control. My son's myopia is stabilized. It's great. So Mum and Dad, I presume similar thing, you'd recommend these things?
Yes, we actually have done so, and
our niece, we've passed information on to our nieces, and they've got them now as well, so they wouldn't look back.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time. It's been absolutely fantastic. And if you're after any more information or advice, or indeed you want to see any more interviews, head to nightlenses.com. Thank you.